"Don't let go, please," she whispered. The cowboy was pulled back to life. By the stranger woman, the sun was setting over the wide, empty land. The sky was painted with orange and pink colors. The wind moved softly through the tall grass. Everything looked calm. But the ranch was quiet in a lonely way. Ethan, the cowboy, stood near the fence and looked at the fields. He was a strong man, but he looked tired. His face showed years of hard work. He had a calm and serious look, like someone who had learned to live alone. Ethan was used to living by himself. He had no family nearby, and he had no close friends. He worked on his ranch every day, from early morning until late at night. He cared for his horses, fed the cattle, fixed fences, and kept everything clean. The ranch was his life. He believed in hard work, honesty, and being responsible. Even when he felt lonely, he never complained. He thought loneliness was a part of life. That evening, Ethan had a lot to do. The weather had been hot for many days, and the cattle needed water. He had to check the water supply, make sure the fences were strong, and make sure no animals had escaped. He finished his work quickly because he wanted to return home before it became dark. He also had to check on his favorite horse, Thunder. Thunder was a strong and beautiful horse with a shiny black coat. Ethan trusted Thunder more than any person. They had been together for many years. Ethan saddled Thunder and rode out toward the far fields. The land was wide and open, and the road was dusty. The wind blew dust into the air, and Ethan's eyes started to water. He did not mind. He was used to the hard life. He looked at the cattle in the distance, grazing quietly. He felt a strange calm in his heart. The ranch was peaceful, and he felt proud of his work. But he also felt a little sadness. He thought about the days when he had someone to talk to. He remembered his parents, who had passed away many years ago. He remembered the warm voices, the laughter, and the love. He remembered the feeling of having someone beside him. He missed that feeling. He missed the comfort of having someone to share his life with. But he always told himself that he was fine. He believed he was strong enough to handle everything alone. As Ethan rode deeper into the fields, the sun slowly went down. The sky became darker, and the air became cooler. The shadows grew longer. Ethan felt a chill in the air. He pulled his jacket closer around him. He looked at the horizon and saw the first stars appearing. He knew it would be dark soon, and he needed to finish his work. Suddenly, Thunder stopped and raised his head. His ears moved quickly, listening to something. Ethan felt the horse's body become tense. He looked around, but he could not see anything. The only sound was the wind. Ethan whispered, "What is it, boy?" He tried to calm Thunder, but the horse did not relax. Ethan slowly rode forward. He trusted Thunder, and he believed the horse sensed something. The land was quiet, but Ethan could feel the tension. He felt like someone was watching him. He did not like that feeling, but he did not show fear. He was a cowboy, and cowboys did not show fear. They stayed strong and calm, no matter what happened. As he moved forward, Ethan noticed something strange. A small rock was lying in the middle of the path. It was not a big rock, but it looked out of place. Ethan had traveled this path many times, and he knew every detail. This rock was new. He stopped Thunder and got off the horse. He walked toward the rock and picked it up. It was heavy and cold. He looked around again, but still saw nothing unusual. Ethan put the rock back on the ground and got back on Thunder. He felt that something was wrong, but he could not explain it. He continued riding, trying to ignore the feeling. He wanted to finish his work and go home. He told himself that he was just being careful. He was a cowboy, and he had to be careful. The path was narrow, and the land on both sides was full of tall grass. Ethan rode slowly, watching the ground. The sun was almost gone, and the darkness began to spread. He could see the moon rising slowly in the sky. The moon looked beautiful, but it did not bring comfort. It made the land look more lonely. Suddenly, thunder moved quickly to the side. Ethan tried to control the horse, but the ground was slippery. Thunder slipped, and Ethan lost his balance. He tried to hold on, but he fell to the ground. The impact was strong. Ethan felt pain in his body. He rolled on the ground and tried to stand up, but he could not. Ethan tried to call for help, but his voice was weak. He felt the air leaving his body. He looked at Thunder, who was standing nearby, looking worried. Ethan tried to reach for the horse, but his hand did not move. His body felt heavy, and his vision became blurry. He realized that he had hurt his leg badly. He also felt something wrong with his head. He could not remember exactly what happened. He felt dizzy and weak. He tried to move, but his body did not respond. He tried to stand, but he fell again. He felt fear for the first time in many years. He had never felt fear like this. He was alone, far from home, and he could not move. He looked at the dark land and felt the cold fear in his heart. Ethan tried to stay calm. He told himself that he could handle this. He told himself that he would survive. He tried to call for help again, but his voice was barely a whisper. He whispered, "Help! Someone, please." The words were weak and quiet. The wind took his voice away, and the land remained silent. Ethan's eyes began to close. He felt tired and weak. He thought about his life, his ranch, and his lonely days. He wondered if this was the end. He felt a strange sadness, not because he was afraid of dying, but because he would die alone. He thought about the love he never found. He thought about the people he lost. He thought about the life he had built. As the darkness grew, Ethan felt his body losing strength. His breathing became slow. He tried to hold on, but he could not. He felt his heart beating slowly. He felt his eyes closing. He felt the world becoming quiet. Just before he lost consciousness, Ethan saw a small light in the distance. It was not bright, but it was there. He did not know what it was. He thought it might be a lantern or a small fire. He tried to move toward the light, but his body would not move. He could only watch the light slowly getting closer. Ethan felt a faint hope in his heart. He wanted to stay alive. He wanted to see who was coming. He wanted to speak to the person. He wanted to say thank you, but his body was too weak. His eyes closed, and his world went dark. The night became quiet again. The wind continued to move through the grass. The moon shone over the land. The ranch was far away, and no one knew what had happened to Ethan. He lay on the ground, alone and unconscious, waiting for a miracle. Maya was not a person who stayed in one place for long. She was a traveler, and she had a quiet life. She liked to walk through the countryside and help people when she could. She had a kind heart, and she believed that everyone deserved help and love. She had a gentle face and calm eyes. People often felt comfortable around her, even if they had never met her before. That night, Maya was walking near the ranch. She had been traveling for many days, and she was tired. She wanted to find a safe place to rest. The sky was dark, and the moon was shining brightly. The land looked strange and quiet, but Maya did not feel afraid. She had walked through many places like this. She knew how to stay safe. As she walked, she noticed a small light in the distance. It looked like a lantern or a small fire. Maya thought it was strange because there was no house or camp nearby. She became curious. She decided to walk toward the light to see what it was. She moved carefully through the tall grass, trying not to make any noise. When Maya came closer, she saw something that made her stop. She saw a cowboy lying on the ground. His body was still. He was not moving. His horse was standing nearby, looking worried. Maya could feel that something was wrong. Maya could feel that she knew the cowboy needed help. Maya rushed to him. She knelt beside his body and checked his pulse. She felt his heartbeat, but it was weak. She looked at his face and saw that he was breathing slowly. She could see a small cut on his head and blood on his shirt. She knew he was badly hurt. She felt a strong feeling in her heart. She did not know this man, but she felt like she had to help him. Maya knew she had to act quickly. She looked around for anything she could use. She found a small cloth in her bag and gently wiped the blood from his face. She spoke softly to him. "Please stay with me. Don't leave." Her voice was calm and gentle. She wanted him to feel safe. Maya lifted the cowboy's head carefully and placed it on a small bundle of cloth. She then took out water from her bottle and poured a small amount into his mouth. She hoped it would help him stay awake. The cowboy did not respond. His eyes remained closed. Maya could feel her heart beating fast. She was scared, but she did not show it. She had to stay strong. Maya looked at the horse, Thunder, and spoke to him softly. "It's okay, boy. I will take care of him." Thunder looked at Maya with sad eyes. The horse seemed to understand that something was wrong. Maya gently stroked Thunder's head. She could feel the horse's warmth. It gave her strength. Maya knew she needed to move the cowboy to a safer place. The path was narrow, and the land was not safe at night. There could be wild animals, and the cold air could make the cowboy's condition worse. Maya decided to carry him to a small area near a tree where the ground was softer. It was not far, but it was still difficult. Maya lifted the cowboy carefully. She was strong, but she had to be careful not to hurt him more. She carried him slowly, one step at a time. She could feel the weight of his body, but she did not stop. She did not think about her own tiredness. She only thought about saving him. After a few minutes, Maya reached the small area near the tree. She placed the cowboy down gently. She covered him with a blanket she had in her bag. She wanted to keep him warm. She looked at the sky and realized the night was getting colder. She knew that if he stayed cold, he could lose his life. Maya took a deep breath and started to think. She had to revive him. She had learned some basic first aid during her travels. She knew how to help someone who was unconscious. She remembered a story her mother once told her. Never give up on someone, even if you don't know them. A small act of kindness can change a life. Maya sat beside the cowboy and placed her hand on his chest. She felt his weak heartbeat. She knew she had to help him breathe better. She began to perform a simple breathing method. She breathed slowly and carefully, trying to keep the cowboy's body alive. She whispered softly, "Stay with me. Don't go. Please don't leave me." Her voice was filled with emotion. She was not just helping him with her hands. She was also speaking to his heart. Eyes. She believed that words could help a person stay alive. She believed in the power of hope. Maya continued her effort. She checked his pulse again. It was still weak, but it was there. She felt a small hope inside her. She looked at the cowboy's face and saw his lips moving slightly. It was a sign that he was still alive. Maya smiled quietly. She felt relief, but she knew she could not stop. She took out a small notebook from her bag and wrote down the time. She wanted to keep track of his condition. She also wrote down a short message for anyone who might find them later. Cowboy found here. Please help. She placed the notebook near him so it would be visible. Maya continued to talk to the cowboy. She told him about her travels, about the people she met, and about the beauty of the world. She spoke softly, hoping her voice would reach his heart. She said, "You're not alone. I am here. You are strong. You will be okay." Time passed slowly. The night felt long. Maya did not sleep. She stayed awake, watching the cowboy's breathing. She could feel her own body becoming tired, but she refused to give up. She kept her eyes open, waiting for a sign that he was waking up. Then, something happened. The cowboy's body moved slightly. His hand moved a little. Maya's heart beat faster. She leaned closer and saw that his eyes were opening. He looked around with confusion. His eyes met Maya's. For a moment he did not speak. He only stared at her, as if he could not believe what he was seeing. Maya smiled gently and said, "You are awake. You are safe now." Her voice was filled with happiness. She felt a strong emotion in her heart. She had saved a life, and she could not stop smiling. The cowboy tried to speak, but his voice was weak. He whispered, "Who are you?" Maya replied, "My name is Maya. I found you here. You were hurt. You need to rest." The cowboy tried to sit up, but he felt pain. He fell back onto the blanket. Maya quickly supported him and helped him stay comfortable. The cowboy looked at Maya and said, "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." Maya shook her head and said, "You don't need to repay me. Just stay alive. That is enough." The cowboy's eyes filled with tears. He felt a strong emotion in his heart. He had never met a stranger who cared for him like this. He had always believed that people were only kind when they needed something. But Maya proved him wrong. She showed him that kindness could exist without any reason. As the night continued, Maya stayed beside the cowboy. She kept him warm, gave him water, and watched his breathing. She also spoke to him softly, reminding him to stay calm. The cowboy felt safe in her presence. He felt like he was not alone anymore. Maya looked at the cowboy and thought about her own life. She had traveled alone for many years. She had helped many people, but she had never felt such a strong connection with someone before. She felt something new in her heart, something she could not explain. She looked at the cowboy and whispered, "Don't worry. I am here." She held his hand gently. The cowboy looked at her and whispered back, "Thank you for saving me." Maya smiled and said, "You are welcome." The night continued, but the darkness did not feel so scary anymore. Maya and the cowboy stayed together, waiting for the sunrise. They both knew that their lives had changed that night. They did not know what would happen next, but they felt that something important had begun. The sun began to rise slowly, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and pink. The night was ending, and the world seemed to wake up. Maya had stayed awake all night, watching the cowboy. She felt tired, but she did not want to sleep. She was afraid that if she slept, the cowboy might meet her and she would miss it. She wanted to be there for him until he was completely safe. The cowboy's breathing had become stronger. His eyes were still weak, but he was awake. He looked at Maya with a deep sense of gratitude. He wanted to thank her again, but he could not find the right words. He felt like his heart was full of emotions. He had never felt such kindness from a stranger before. He had always lived alone and believed that people did not care. Judge was doved, but Maya had changed his thoughts. Maya looked at the cowboy and smiled. She said softly, "You are doing better now. The sun is coming up. We should move to a safer place soon?" The cowboy nodded slowly. He tried to sit up, but his body felt weak. Maya supported him carefully and helped him stand. He leaned on her for support, and she felt his strength slowly returning. They walked slowly through the field. The grass was wet with morning dew, and the air was fresh. The cowboy could feel the cool breeze on his face. He looked at the land and realized how beautiful it was. He had always been too busy to notice the beauty around him. He had always focused on work, work, and work. But now he could see the world in a different way. He could feel the calmness in the air. He could feel the hope in his heart. Maya led him toward the ranch. She knew the ranch was not far, but it was still a long walk for someone who was injured. The cowboy felt embarrassed to ask for help, but he knew he needed it. He tried to speak, but his voice was weak. He said, "I should have been more careful. I should have stayed close to the ranch." Maya shook her head and said, "It was not your fault. Accidents happen. What matters is that you are alive now." As they walked, the cowboy noticed the way Maya moved. She was strong and steady, but she also looked gentle. He noticed her calm eyes and kind face. He felt something in his heart that he could not explain. He felt a connection, like they were meant to meet. He wondered if this was fate. The ranch was getting closer. Ethan could see the fence and the small house in the distance. He felt a sense of relief. He was going home. He looked at Maya and said, "Thank you for bringing me back. I don't know what I would have done without you." Maya smiled and said, "You don't need to thank me. I am just happy you are safe." When they reached the ranch, the cowboy's body started to feel weak again. He could not stand properly. Maya helped him sit on a wooden chair near the house. She looked around and saw that the ranch was simple but well kept. The house was small, but it looked warm and comfortable. The fence was strong, and the land was clean. Ethan had clearly worked hard to build this place. Maya looked at Ethan and asked, "Do you live here alone?" Ethan nodded. He said, "Yes, I have been alone for many years." Maya felt a small sadness in her heart. She knew loneliness could be heavy. She knew how it felt to travel alone and have no one to share life with. She wanted to help him, but she did not want to push him. Maya decided to help Ethan inside the house. She guided him gently. She helped him sit on a bed and made sure he was comfortable. She checked his leg and saw that it was swollen. She knew he needed rest and proper care. She went to the kitchen and brought some water and food. She gave him a small meal and he ate slowly. He did not have much appetite, but he knew he needed to eat. Ethan looked at Maya and asked, "Why did you help me? You don't even know me." Maya replied, "Because I believe that we should help each other. I believe that kindness is important. And I could not leave you alone in the field." Ethan felt touched by her words. He realized that her kindness was pure and not based on anything. As the day went on, Ethan started to feel better. His strength returned slowly. He could walk a little without help. Maya stayed beside him, helping him with small tasks. She brought him fresh water, changed his bandage, and kept him company. She also asked him about his life, his work, and his dreams. Ethan told her about his ranch. He explained how he had built it from nothing. He told her about the hard days, the long nights, and the lonely times. He spoke with pride, but also with sadness. He said, "This ranch is my life, but sometimes I wish I had someone to share it with." Maya listened carefully. She could feel the sadness in his voice. She wanted to comfort him, but she did not know how. Maya shared her own story, too. She told him that she had been traveling for many years. She said she had lost someone important in her past, and that is why she kept moving. She said she wanted to help others and find peace. Ethan listened quietly. He felt a deep connection with her story. I understood her pain because he had pain too. As evening approached, Ethan started to feel tired again. He lay down on his bed and Maya sat beside him. She looked at him and said, "You should sleep. Your body needs rest." Ethan nodded and closed his eyes. Maya stayed beside him, watching him sleep. She felt a strange emotion in her heart. She felt that she wanted to protect him, to stay close to him. The night came again. The house was quiet. Ethan was sleeping peacefully. Maya sat near the window, looking at the moon. She thought about the day. She thought about the cowboy she had saved. She thought about the connection she felt with him. She wondered if she had made the right decision by staying. She wondered if she was ready to open her heart again. Suddenly, Ethan woke up. He looked at Maya and said softly, "I don't want you to leave." Maya was surprised. She asked, "Why?" "You don't know me well." Ethan looked at her with a serious expression. He said, "Because you saved my life. And because I feel like you are different. I feel like I can trust you." Maya's eyes became wet. She felt her heart beat faster. She did not know what to say. She had never felt this way before. She had always been strong, but now she felt weak. She felt a strange hope in her heart. She wanted to stay, but she was afraid. She was afraid of getting hurt again. Maya looked at Ethan and whispered, "I don't know what will happen, but I want to stay for now." Ethan smiled gently. He felt relief. He felt hope. He felt that his life was changing. He felt that maybe he was not alone anymore. They both sat in silence for a moment. The moonlight entered the room, making everything look soft and calm. They both felt a peaceful feeling. They both knew that something important was beginning. They did not know what the future would bring, but they felt that their lives had changed forever. The next morning, the sun rose again with a gentle glow. The ranch looked calm and peaceful. Ethan woke up, feeling stronger than before. He looked around and saw Maya sitting near the window, watching the sunrise. He felt grateful that she was still there. He sat up slowly and looked at her. Maya turned and smiled at him. Her smile was warm and kind. Ethan felt a strange feeling in his heart. He could not explain it. He felt happy, like he had found something he did not know he was missing. He thanked her again, but this time his voice sounded different. It was softer, and it carried a deeper emotion. Maya stood up and said, "You are feeling better today. You should go outside and get some fresh air." Ethan nodded. He walked slowly toward the door. Maya followed him. The air outside was fresh, and the fields looked beautiful. Ethan could see the cattle grazing and the horses running in the distance, he felt a sense of peace. As they walked, Ethan noticed how the ranch looked when it was not dark. He saw the hard work he had put into it. He felt proud. He also felt a little lonely. He realized that the ranch was big, but his life was still empty. He had a home, but no one to share it with. Maya walked beside him quietly. She did not speak much. She was thinking about her own life. She had always been a traveler, and she had always kept her heart closed. But now she felt something changing. She felt that she wanted to stay. She felt that she wanted to build a life here. She felt that she wanted to belong. They reached the fence where Ethan kept his horses. Ethan looked at Thunder and said, "You have been a good friend." Thunder looked at Ethan and whinnied softly. Ethan smiled and patted the horse's neck. Maya watched them and felt a warm feeling in her heart. She felt that she was becoming part of their life. As the day passed, Ethan and Maya spent more time together. They worked on small tasks around the ranch. Maya helped Ethan repair the fence, feed the cattle, and clean the barn. Ethan was surprised by how quickly Maya learned the work. She was strong and careful. She did not complain. She worked with a calm and steady heart. Ethan started to talk more with Maya. He told her about his childhood, his parents, and the hard times he had faced. He spoke about his dreams and his fears. He said, "I always thought I could handle everything alone. But now I realize that I need someone. I need a partner, someone to share life with." Maya listened carefully. She could feel the sadness in his voice. She wanted to comfort him. She said, "You are not weak for needing someone. Everyone needs someone. It is normal." Ethan looked at her and smiled. He felt a deep connection with her words. He felt that she understood him. They took a break in the afternoon. They sat near the small pond on the ranch. The water was clear and the trees reflected in it. The sound of birds filled the air. The scene was peaceful. Ethan and Maya sat quietly, enjoying the calm moment. Ethan looked at Maya and asked, "Why did you help me that night? You didn't know me. You could have just walked away." Maya looked down and thought for a moment. She then looked at Ethan and said, "I saw you lying there, alone and hurt. I felt that I had to help. I couldn't ignore it. I think we are all connected. When someone is in danger, we should help." Ethan nodded slowly. He felt a deep respect for her. He realized that Maya was not just kind. She was brave. She had a strong heart. He felt proud to have her by his side. As the day continued, Ethan began to feel something more than friendship. He felt that his heart was opening. He felt that he wanted to protect Maya. He wanted to keep her safe. He wanted to make her happy. He did not know if it was love, but he felt that it was something strong. Maya also felt something in her heart. She felt that she was falling for Ethan. She felt that she wanted to stay with him. She felt that she wanted to be part of his life. She had never felt this before. She had always been alone, but now she felt that she could belong somewhere. That evening, Ethan decided to share something important with Maya. He invited her to sit with him near the fireplace. The fire was warm and the room looked cozy. Ethan looked at Maya and said, "I want to ask you something." Maya looked at him with curiosity. She asked, "What is it?" Ethan took a deep breath and said, "You saved my life. You have been kind to me. I want you to stay here, with me, for as long as you want. I know you are a traveler, but I hope you will stay." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She felt a strong emotion. She was touched by his words. Maya replied softly, "I don't know if I can stay forever. I have always been moving, but I want to stay with you. I want to see where this goes." Ethan smiled and held her hand gently. He felt a warm feeling in his heart. He felt hope. The days passed, and Ethan and Maya became closer. They shared small moments, like cooking together, watching the sunset, and talking by the fire. They laughed together. They cried together. They shared their dreams. They shared their fears. They started to trust each other. One day, Ethan asked Maya to walk with him to the hill near the ranch. The hill was small, but it had a beautiful view of the land. They walked slowly, holding hands. Ethan looked at the view and said, "This is my home. I want to share it with you." Maya looked at him and smiled. She felt her heart beating fast. She said, "I feel safe here. I feel like I belong." Ethan looked at her and whispered, "Then stay." Maya looked into his eyes and said, "I will stay, Ethan." The moment felt like a dream. The sun was setting, and the sky was filled with beautiful colors. Ethan and Maya stood together holding hands. They both felt that their lives were changing. They both felt that they had found something they had been missing for a long time. That night, Ethan and Maya sat near the fireplace again. They were quiet, but their hearts were full. Ethan looked at Maya and whispered, "I am glad you found me." Maya smiled and whispered back, "I am glad I found you too." They both knew that their bond was growing stronger. They both knew that they were no longer alone. They both knew that they had found a new family in each other. Days passed quietly on the ranch. The land looked calm and peaceful, and the sun shone brightly every morning. Ethan and Maya's bond became stronger with each day. They worked together, shared meals, and talked about their dreams. Their lives were slowly changing, and they felt a new kind of happiness that they had never felt before. Ethan's body had fully healed. He could walk easily, ride his horse, and work on the ranch without any pain. He felt strong again, but this time, his strength was not only physical. He felt a new strength inside his heart. He felt hope, love, and peace. He no longer felt alone. He felt that he had someone who cared for him, someone who would always be by his side. Maya also felt different. She felt calm and safe. She realized that she did not want to keep traveling anymore. She wanted to stay in one place. She wanted to build a home. She wanted to create a life with Ethan. She felt that she had found a new purpose. She wanted to stay with him, not because she needed him, but because she wanted to. One evening, as the sun began to set, Ethan and Maya sat near the fence, watching the cattle. The sky was painted with orange and purple colors. The air was cool and gentle. Ethan looked at Maya and felt a deep emotion. He turned to her and said, "I want to ask you something important." Maya looked at him with curiosity and a little nervousness. Ethan took a deep breath and said, "Maya, you saved my life. You came to me when I was alone and hurt. You showed me kindness, love, and hope. I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me?" Maya's eyes filled with tears. Her heart beat fast. She felt a warm feeling inside her. She looked at Ethan and smiled. Maya said softly, "Yes, Ethan. I will marry you." Ethan's face lit up with happiness. He hugged her gently. They both felt a strong emotion. It was a moment of pure joy. They felt that their lives were finally complete. After that day, Ethan and Maya began to prepare for their new life together. They cleaned the house, fixed small things around the ranch, and planned a small celebration. They wanted to invite a few neighbors and friends, but Ethan realized that he did not have many people around. The ranch was far away from the town, and Ethan had always lived alone. He felt a little sad, but he also felt grateful that he had Maya. Maya understood Ethan's feelings, and she said, "We don't need many people to be happy. We have each other. That is enough." Ethan smiled and felt comforted by her words. He realized that he did not need a big celebration. He only needed a simple life with Maya. They decided to have a small ceremony near the ranch. They used flowers from the field to decorate the area. They placed a small table and chairs. The sun was shining softly and the air was fresh. The ceremony was simple, but it was filled with love. It was perfect for them. On the day of the ceremony, Ethan wore a clean shirt and a simple hat. Maya wore a plain dress, but she looked beautiful. Her eyes were shining with happiness. They stood together, holding hands. The wind moved gently through the grass. The sound of birds filled the air. It felt like the world was celebrating with them. They exchanged simple promises. Ethan said, "I promise to love you, protect you, and stand by you forever." Maya replied, "I promise to love you, support you, and stay with you always." They both smiled. They both felt a deep emotion. They felt that they had found something rare and beautiful. After the ceremony, they sat together and talked about their future. They dreamed of a life filled with love, peace, and happiness. They talked about raising a family, growing crops, and taking care of the ranch together. They talked about the small moments that made life beautiful, like watching the sunset, sharing a meal, and working side by side. Ethan also thought about his past. He remembered the night he fell from his horse. He remembered the fear he felt. He remembered the moment when he thought he would die alone. He felt grateful that Maya had found him. He felt grateful that she had saved his life. He realized that if she had not been there, his life would have ended in loneliness. Maya also thought about her past. She remembered the pain she had carried for many years. She remembered the days when she felt lost and alone. She remembered the nights when she had no hope. But now she felt that her life had a new meaning. She felt that she had found a home. She felt that she had found a love. One day, a neighbor from the nearby town came to visit. The neighbor had heard about the cowboy who was saved by a stranger woman. He came to see them and congratulate them. He was surprised to see how happy they were. He saw the love between them and smiled. The neighbor said, "You two are lucky. You found each other in a strange way, but your love is real." Ethan and Maya smiled and thanked him. They felt happy that someone understood their story. As time passed, Ethan and Maya's life became even more beautiful. They worked together on the ranch and their love grew stronger every day. They shared small moments of joy. They laughed together, cooked together, and took care of each other. They supported each other in difficult times. They became a true team. One evening, as they sat near the fireplace, Ethan looked at Maya and said, "I am glad you were there that night." Maya smiled and replied, "I am glad I was there too." They both felt a deep emotion. They both knew that their lives had changed forever. The story of the cowboy and the stranger woman became a memory they cherished forever. They knew that their meeting was not a coincidence. They believed that it was fate. They believed that life had brought them together for a reason. Years passed, and the ranch became full of life. Ethan and Maya had a happy home. They had children. and their home was filled with laughter. They taught their children the values of kindness, love, and hard work. They told them the story of how they met and how a simple act of kindness changed their lives. Even when they grew older, Ethan and Maya never forgot the night when their lives changed. They always remembered the moment when Maya whispered, "Don't let go, please." And when Ethan opened his eyes again, they remembered the love that saved them. Their love story became a symbol of hope. It showed that kindness can change lives. It showed that love can be found in the most unexpected moments. It showed that even in the darkest times, there is always a chance for a new beginning. And so Ethan and Maya lived their lives with love, peace, and happiness. They never forgot the miracle that brought them together. They always remembered that the most important thing in life is not wealth or success, but love and kindness.